What's up? Welcome back to the Triple Cross Podcast. I'm here with Jay Bags. I'm here with Carter from the District. We're on IG Live. We're on YouTube Live. We're talking MVP. We're talking Rookie of the Year. We're talking all the individual awards, and we're doing all that right after this. Let's go.
The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network.
All right. Jay Bags, how you doing, buddy?
Doing great.
Carter, how you doing, my guy?
Doing good.
Busy day for you. I know you got a lot going on. I appreciate you being here.
For sure.
Okay, so just so everybody knows the deal, here's how the NBA Shop gift card giveaways work. If you haven't been here before, you got to hop in. First, you got to subscribe to the channel. You got to hit the bell icon so you get notifications. And then you got to hop in the chat and tell us who you think is going to win MVP this year. And you have to like the video. We will give away an NBA Shop gift card every 10 likes on the video. So every time we hit 10 likes, so once we hit 10, we'll give away one gift card. Once we hit 20, we'll give away another 30. Everybody knows how to count by tens, I hope. You guys get it. All right, let's talk. So we're gonna open up today, guys, with some crossing out or crossing up. If y'all have been here before, you know what crossing out or crossing up is. It's just, we're gonna go around the horn here and say something that we think that we're like, I'm crossing them out, I'm writing them off. They're no good. They're Jared's last week girlfriend. And then we're gonna say something we're crossing up as well. Who's got it first? Carter, what do you got? You go.
Crossing out. I'm an honorary Mavs fan because I love Luka and I got a friend from Dallas, but they need a lot of things to happen, some things out of their control for them to even make the play-in at this point. And I think it's wraps for their season officially, all but official.
Yeah. No, I agree. What do you so just for a second here though, like what's to blame, do you think? You know what I mean? Like, do you blame? Because it's so easy to say, "Hey, they were gonna make the playoffs before Kyrie came," and then he came. So it's just so easy to like correlate it. But if you look at it, it's like, well, is it Kyrie's fault that they traded away all their defense? Like they knew what he was. They knew he wasn't a defender. Like, so what do you think is to blame here? Some people are starting to blame Jason Kidd. Old J Kidd always gets the brunt of it. You know what I'm saying? That's what happened in Milwaukee too. What do you think, Carter?
I think it might have just been a failure to adjust after getting Kyrie. I think Cuban came out and said a bunch of stuff today, or maybe it just surfaced today where he said it was his fault for not changing personnel after the Kyrie trade. I mean, the roster is still fine. I think they probably need some more defense. They don't have Dorian, but they have Josh Green and Maxi Kleber is an all right defender for a stretch 4 or 5. So, Luka and Kyrie plus defense should be able to get you a long, long way. They just got to figure it out.
And also, they make weird roster decisions. Like, I don't really understand the usage rate of Christian Wood. You know what I mean? Like, he's pretty good. And, like, you put Christian Wood and Luka in a pick and roll, and honestly, it should work. And, like, if you're not going to put Christian Wood in a pick and roll, why is he there? What else are you going to do with it? Like, he's just there to, like, I don't know, for bench support. Like, is he super good at keeping those bench chairs warm? I don't know. Like, why is he even there? You know what I'm saying, Jared?
Right. Yeah, I think it's a lot of it. There's so many pieces to the pie, and I think everybody is to blame. But I agree with you. Christian Wood, why does he not start? Why does he not play more minutes?
Yeah, I mean, because JaVale McGee needs those minutes.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Come on now.
What are you doing?
Like, he does everything JaVale does, but better. But I don't know.
All right, Carter, before we get into your crossing up, I got to say something about our sponsors so I don't forget it, because I always do. Today's show is brought to you by Perk Chinos. If you're a dude and you wear pants, then you want to wear these pants because they make you look good. I was talking to them about it today, and they're like, look, the whole thing is that, like, there's a lot of stuff out there that make women look better. There's push-up bras, there's makeup, there's all this stuff. But there's not that much for men. These are everyday pant for like ever, right? Like you could buy a pair today, you'll still be wearing them in 5 years, assuming you don't get fatter, but you could just buy a wider, or you could buy a bigger
Just fill
pair.
them out better.
Yeah, no, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Perk Chinos make your booty look good. They give you more space in the front. If you go to perkchinos.com, pick up a pair. I think they've got a deal right now where it's like $100 off if you buy 3 pairs, which is pretty good because I don't know about you, Carter, but I wear more than one pair of pants. I do laundry some days. I got to have another pair of pants.
Here and there.
Yeah, today's episode is also brought to you by Kanzuri. I'm just sticking with the theme of like stuff that makes dudes look better. Kanzuri are shoes that make you a little bit taller, right? So if you're like that 5'9", like I am, and that solid 5'9", and you want to be 6, then you get some Kanzuri shoes. So that's CONZURI. Use code TRIPLE will give you 15% off, and I think they're on sale right now, 30% off. So you get like almost 50%. I don't know what else. Casey, I forgot. What else we got? We got Manscaped, right? Yeah, Manscaped. Everybody knows what Manscaped is. Get it. Himself off. Himself right. Like the theme of our sponsors is like, hey, like, do you think they just looked at me and they're like, this is our guy? You know what I mean? Like, he needs all the things that make you better as a man. Like, he's short, he needs pants that make his butt look better, and he probably doesn't have things together in the Manscaped department. All right, Carter, what's your crossing out? Or you already said your crossing out. What's your crossing up?
Before I get into my crossing up, because I haven't come up with one yet, from my crossing out, we had a Mavs fan in the IG comment saying that J. Kidd is a terrible coach and there's almost zero defense and depth to the roster. That's about it. It's his take on it.
He got that same criticism in Milwaukee, and he does that deep help they play, gives up corner threes. That's the other criticism he got in Milwaukee. I don't know. Yeah, Mavs fans in the YouTube chat. I know there's a few of you. You let me know what y'all think. I don't know, Jared. You think that J. Kidd is not? I mean, he was a good assistant coach, assistant to Frank Vogel.
Yeah, good assistant coach. Good.
But he catches this heat every time he gets a head coaching job. There's like this effect where they'll be better the first year.
Right. I think for sure maybe part of the blame you can put on him, but yeah, I don't think you can put the full blame. And I'll talk more in depth as I go into my same crossing out. But yeah, I don't think he's fully to blame, but he has part of the blame.
All right, Carter, what are you crossing up?
I think I'm going to have to cross up Joel Embiid. I still have Jokic as my MVP pick, but Joel Embiid last night, phenomenal game against Boston. He had like 50 and 13, super efficient. And we're going to get into it later, all the awards, but when I was going through my Clutch Player of the Year awards, I set up like a formula I usually use to like value each stat and stuff. And then I threw that on per 75 possessions in the clutch. And Joel Embiid was second on that list behind like the runaway favorite for the award, De'Aaron Fox. But he averages like 33 and 12 on 60 true shooting in the clutch, which is just awesome. So actually 35 and 9. Just checked it. It's been great.
I mean, all right. He had 52 last night? 52? Meanwhile, Jokic was putting up like 20 and losing to the Spurs or something like that. The Rockets. I mean, any loss to the Rockets, the Spurs, or the Pistons is pretty bad. Right. But they've got there's a good chance that whoever wins the NBA championship this year will have lost to at least one of those 3 teams. Maybe 100% chance. I don't know. Between the 3 of them, maybe they'd beat every team in the NBA.
Probably.
All right, J-Bags, crossing out. What you got?
So crossing out, same vein as Carter. I had the Dallas Mavericks.
You just got to double down, huh?
Yeah, well, I've already planned. The thing is, the Mavericks. I want to emphasize it because I've actually watched like their last 2 games, like the full game, to really just like dissect and analyze and see what the issues are, and I think it's 90% of it is just defensive effort. Literally nobody on the court plays this with a sense of urgency. And as much as I love Luka as well, he's one of the laziest help side defenders I've ever seen. and he just complains and whines it. And the thing is, you can't have that as a leader. Having him and Kyrie, you got to have guys that will step up and make plays.
Yeah.
Defensively as well. Offensively, I don't see many issues. They're great.
Mhm.
They hit shots, they put up points, but the defense and the effort is just non-existent. And you can't win, especially you can't make the playoffs, let alone win playoff games unless you have defense. Unless you're the 2018 Cavs, like Carter had pointed out. That's like the one team.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew that Luka was like, he stands up. He stands straight up
Yeah.
on defense. Like
He's out of shape.
He's taking possessions. Well, I mean, how out of shape can you be when you're playing 40 minutes and you're putting up numbers? Like he's using a lot of effort. He's using a lot of energy on offense. And he's like, dude, I never
plays
really
no
played
defense as a
defense.
result.
Yeah. So basically he's like, I got to take breaks on defense, dude. Like with y'all, nobody, I don't take any other breaks. I don't sit. He's like you. Jared never sits. All right. Who are you crossing up, Jay?
So I'm crossing up the Boston Celtics. I've gone back and forth all year between them and Milwaukee. But Boston, I mean, well, we saw in the 40-point blowout, and I know it's a regular season game, but Boston's looking good. And I think Boston's going to the finals. That's my little hot take prediction, but I think Boston's they're clicking. Things are looking well. Jaylen Brown and Tatum, they both want that all NBA team so they can get that max extension. And I think things are clicking at the right time.
I know. Yeah, Boston. So somebody had a hot take in the Graham chat. They said Boston out of the East and Sacramento out of the West.
That's a Kings fan right there.
That's a Northern California.
About the Kings.
That's a Northern California resident.
Yeah.
He has that someone who hasn't even been following the NBA for the last 20 years or whatever.
They go from Warriors to Kings in 1 year.
Bouncing around. All right, cross it out. I'm going to go ahead and cross out. Man, I hate to stay with the Mavs theme, but I'm going to cross out Luka because I almost put more of this blame on him than I do on Kyrie, honestly.
Same.
Because he's supposed to be the leader. He's supposed to be the guy. I don't know, man. I just think we've seen him go from like legitimate MVP contender to he just seems frustrated all the time. You know what I mean? And you took away his role players. I get it. But that's it. I think, I think Luka might ask to leave Dallas, and I don't think that's a bad idea. And honestly, if you look at who's in a position to get like a star player that's disgruntled, I kind of hope Luka requests to leave Dallas, right? Because Utah would be in a position to get a player like that, or Oklahoma City would be in a position to get a player like that. I'm going to cross up Oklahoma City. OKC, if there's any team following that same theme, if there's any team that's really in a position is like there's a bright future there, it's them. I mean, they got picks, they got cap space, they got an incredible piece, an incredible player to build around. They've got Chet Holmgren and Josh Giddey, who are good. I don't know. We don't know about Chet Holmgren, but Josh Giddey is like surprisingly good. You know what I mean? OKC like really looks like they have a bright future. There was a little hint that Kevin Durant might be interested in coming back to OKC if things don't work out with the Suns. I don't know why there would even be that hint. Like everything's working out so far. They haven't even lost yet, but all right. Should we get into it? Should we get into our picks?
Let's do it.
All right. How do you guys want to do this thing? Do you guys want to go through just each category and say our three and just go around the horn? Does that sound like the plan? All right.
I like it.
Yeah.
You want to start at MVP or do you want to end at MVP?
Let's
End.
MVP.
End at MVP. All right. Let's start then with the least exciting category, in my opinion, Coach of the Year. Jared, give me your top three for Coach of the Year.
Okay, so I got first is Mike Brown. I think he's gonna win it. Kings coach. Shout out to the Kings and all the people who like the Kings in the chat. And then
all the people in the chat loving them Kings.
Yes, he's done a great job. And then my second is Mike Malone. I think with the Nuggets being the first seed, he's a great coach. He's done an awesome job.
Yeah.
And my third's Joe Mazzulla. To come in with the whole situation that happened in Boston, comes in as a first-year head coach. They've played just as good, if not better, than they did last year. And so that's my top 3.
All right, Carter, what you got?
I also have Mike Brown at my number 1 spot. I don't really think there's much of a debate there. I think he's almost unanimous to the people I've gotten together for this so far. Only one non-Mike Brown first place vote.
Yeah.
And then I keep losing my list here. Number 2, I have Thibs. The Knicks have definitely exceeded my expectations and everyone's expectations.
Huh?
And at number 3, I kind of felt like I had to go Taylor Jenkins, coach of the Grizzlies here, because with Jaren missing like a quarter of the season and them not making any crazy moves and every other West team got better, I was like, they'll probably drop off a bit because everyone else is going to pass them. And they didn't. I think the 2 seed still probably going to hit, they're at 50 wins at least, right? So they did great. They exceeded my expectations. So I have to give love to Taylor Jenkins there.
So I'm glad I had you go before me because I thought for sure you would take one of mine, being the Cavs fan that you are. But going through, I mean, Mike Brown, I'm looking at the betting odds right now, and Mike Brown is a minus 1,600 to win coach of the year. The person in second is Joe Mazzulla at plus 650. So big time odds on favorite for Mike Brown. And I mean, he deserves it. They haven't been to the playoffs in 16 years. Mike Brown deserves coach of the year, and we could just stop talking about it. We don't even need to do a top 3, but I'm going to go a little bit anti here, like the other 2 Mikes. So Mike Malone and Mike Budenholzer. How do you say his name?
I think Budenholzer.
Bood. I put them in the same category, like good coaches of a good team every year who are kind of like a top 4 candidate for coach of the year, but never really the winner.
Right.
You know what I mean? And also, I can't in good conscience say Tom Thibodeau because, dude, I just don't like him. I don't know what it is about Tibbs that I'm just like, something about you got a real punchable face, you know, like, I don't know what it is, but just not a Tibbs guy. So I'm going to go with JB Bickerstaff and Joe Mazzulla in my 2-3 spots. So Joe Mazzulla in my second spot, coming in. I mean, it's a great team, but coming in amongst the Emo Duca stuff and like not really missing a beat. Right. And then JB Bickerstaff. I mean, the Cavs are good, but he's done an incredible job meshing essentially a new star, a new franchise player into a team that already had a lot going on. A lot of pieces moved in the offseason, and then you have Kevin Love, who's definitely a locker room presence moving during the season. So yeah, JB Bickerstaff, props to him. Let's go Cavs.
John, I got something I gotta jump in here and say real quick.
Yeah.
I did a oops, sorry about that. Bad producing on my part. I did a poll in the chat to see who won out of you guys for your crossing up or crossing out. And sadly, John, you got third place.
We basically all said the same thing.
Well, the people have spoken. You got 16% of the vote. Well, Jared got 25% of the vote, and Carter with the dominant 58% of the vote. I think that might just be a little fandom.
Joel Embiid fans.
Little Carter fandom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Happy to have you guys.
I mean, you did have the Joel Embiid take. All right. And Casey, where are we at on likes on the video?
We are currently at 24 likes on the video, so we will be doing at least 2 giveaway spins for NBA Shop gift cards. If we get to 30, we'll do 3. So if we get to 40, we'll do 4. So hit that like button if you haven't already.
Let's do so, and if you're on Instagram, go ahead, join us on YouTube, hit the like button, subscribe, and hop in the chat, and you could win an NBA Shop gift card. Let's do one more category, and then let's do a spin, and then let's finish out the categories so Carter can get out of here because I know you got stuff to do, dude. What are you feeling next? You guys feeling like most improved, 6-man, clutch player, defensive player, rookie? Jared, what you feeling?
Let's go 6-man.
6-man. All right, Carter, 6-man.
6th man of the year. We find mine. I'm in the spreadsheet. Number 1, I have Brogdon. I think he's got pretty far and away-ish the number 1 candidate. I didn't really consider no one else for that spot. Somebody I am going to leave off is Emmanuel Quickly. A lot of people, I think almost everyone has him in their top 3. But I think I just looked at like bench stats, like strictly. I think his stats are boosted from the games that he started. I think he played really well in those. But just
Yeah.
off bench stats, I had Brogdon first, Malik Monk second, and Benedict Mathurin third.
Okay, all right. Yeah, no, quickly is the odds-on favorite. I don't know what the requirements are. It's is it like you have to have been started on the bench for a certain number of games or something like that, right?
I'm not sure. He's
I looked at
definitely eligible.
I looked it up at one point, and it that is what it is. I'll go a little hot takey here, and I'm gonna pick someone who no one's talking about. So I am gonna pick Malcolm Brogdon for that first spot. It just, dude, he's like one of those people that you can just trust. You know what I mean? Like he's brought a lot to the second unit because it's like, oh, we can just like trust him to do like what he's supposed to do, trust him to do the right thing. And that's like a pretty big deal. So yeah, Malcolm Brogdon, he's my guy. I do like Malik Monk. I'm not going to say quickly. I mean, quickly is probably, at least the first or second favorite. I'm going to assume J-Bags, you're going to say quickly, but if you're not, then we're just low on Emmanuel quickly, low on the Knicks. I want to punch Tom Thibodeau in the face, and we don't pick Emmanuel quickly. So I'm going to go Brogdon. I'm going to go Malik Monk in my second place. And if he's eligible, he may have started too many games, but if he's eligible, I'm going to go with Mr. Westbrook himself.
He should be. I considered him had he played more games or came off the bench more games. But his bench stats are pretty damn good.
Everybody
he's played 70 and he's started 21 of them. So
Westbrook is on that Carmelo Anthony track where the league's just going to start to villainize him, and maybe rightfully so. But I mean, the man, say what you want about him, he puts up numbers. Right. Good numbers and bad numbers. He puts up numbers. He's going to do something. He's not going to go out there and hide. But yeah, I mean, overall, he was like a pretty impactful bench player, I think. So yeah, I'm going to go, what did I say? Brogdon, Monk, Westbrook. J-Bags, what you got?
Oh man, so this is hard. All those players I love. I'm a little higher on Quickly than you guys, so I have Quickly there. I love him.
I mean, I'm glad that opinion is represented.
Right.
Honestly, because
if
we would have just went through this whole thing and been like, F Emmanuel Quickly, hate that guy.
But as unanimous as well, I got to put Brogdon as well. I put him there in my next spot, and my third is actually my favorite. I don't think he's the best sixth man, but Bobby Portis, man. He is solid. I've loved Bobby ever since the Bucks finals run. He just brings energy. He's shooting it and scoring it really well. And yeah, shout out to Bobby Portis. If you listen to this, Bobby, yeah, man, shout out to you.
He probably does. I think most NBA players are listening to the pod, actually.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so Casey put something in the YouTube chat that I'm going to remind the IG about really quick. We're actually doing an NBA jersey giveaway right now. Going to try and give that jersey away next week. Live on the pod. It's any player, any team, any jersey, any player, any team, any edition. I'm not going to go hunt for a jersey for you. Like if it's like, hey, it's only available every, 6 months. If you get it fast enough, like I'm not doing that. But like if it's available in the NBA shop or in the team shop, I'll get it for you. So like, Jared wants that Jason Tatum Celtics throwback. I'll get him the Celtics throwback.
And if you're thinking to yourself, hey, I already entered that, well, you have not gotten all the bonus entries because we just added four new bonus entry options today. Those are all the episode options. So for those of you really trying to win, you can get, I think that's up to like 130 more entries just from what we put up today.
Yeah. So if you're on YouTube right now, link in the description for that. You can wait till after the video. It's not like going away or anything. So cool. Should we do a spin? Casey, give us a wheel. You got it?
Oh boy. Let's make sure here. I think we're all up
doing
to
heavy
date
duty today.
Yeah, it is. Okay. Let me pull this up here. Working on it. Bear with me.
So while you're doing that, I'll read some.
Here we go.
Oh, you got it already. Never mind.
Whoa. We got some interesting
most improved. Michael said most improved
Yeah.
Jalen Brunson. That's an interesting take. We haven't even gotten to most improved yet. But
he's up there for sure.
yeah.
Prediction for the wheel has to be my boy Brandon S.
I'm gonna go with Boogie's W just because that's the coolest name on there.
All right.
Miguel, because he's a Lakers fan.
Miguel.
The spin will
All
be
right.
for a $25 e-gift card to the NBA shop. Away we go.
Let's go, Boogie.
Miguel. Oh,
It's Miguel.
Andrew.
Andrew, the serial
bro, you got
winner over
robbed,
here. I think this is
Miguel-
Andrew's like 4th win. Dude shows up. What can I say? If you want to win, you got to show up. That's
Dude
them's the
shows
rules.
up.
Andrew, you know the drill. But for anybody who doesn't, make sure you email us at triplecrosspodcast@gmail.com, and we will get you your gift card within the next day.
I feel real bad. Like, you know that part in semi-pros where the dude shoots the full court shot and like he gets he gets like a bunch of money if he makes it, and he makes it.
No.
And he's like, no, because he doesn't have the money. That's what I feel like I just did to Miguel, man. I was like, yes. For some reason, I was like, maybe my guy won't win, but I don't want Jared's guy to win.
Look,
So
a
good
humble
job,
guy.
Andrew.
He's saying congrats.
Way
What
to,
a humble
way to,
guy.
way to come through for me, Miguel. Appreciate the sportsmanship. Miguel's won before, all right.
True. And we'll
Miguel
take a dub
knows.
tonight against the Clippers. So
Miguel
we're good,
knows
Miguel.
if you show up, you win. All right. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about, should we go to most improved now that the people are demanding it?
Been talking about it.
Yeah. Let's go to most improved. I will go first here. My guard, so I'm going to just let my full bias flag fly here and say Lowry, because honestly, I do think he's probably the most improved player. Emmanuel Quickly is like another one in this category, isn't he? Yeah, not really. I mean, SGA, Jalen Brunson.
He's got
Okay.
one third place vote so far.
I don't think some of these like Sabonis, like I don't think he's going to. So here's what I got most improved. And they're not the odds on favorite. I don't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander because yes, he's improved a ton, but he was already like really good. Like, I don't know. I'm not gonna, it's too easy. It's too easy to go Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Jalen Brunson's a weird one because if you look at just regular season, he's incredibly improved. But I think it's like we all knew it was possible because of what he did in the postseason. So I don't know if they look at that or not, but I'm not going to go with him either. I'm going to go with my guy Lowry, and then I'm going to go Tyrese Halliburton for 2, Josh Giddey for 3. And I don't know if these are predictions of who we actually think or just who we think will
Who you
get
think
it.
deserves it?
Yeah, that's who I think deserves it. I think Lowry deserves it. I think Tyrese deserves that 2 spot, and I think Josh Giddey deserves the 3 spot. And I'm sticking with it. You can't convince me otherwise. I don't know. Maybe you can. Who's after me? Carter, you're after me.
I like the Hallie pick. I went Laurie at 1. I don't really think there's much debate there. I
glad.
did go Brunson at 2. I think the general way to look at it is just last year regular season stats versus this year regular season stats.
If that
And I
is,
think-
then I would concede Brunson. Yeah.
And then I had Halliburton at 3. Shea, I think, I mean, he did improve. I'm not leaving him off because like he was already good because he took like a superstar almost jump. But
Yeah.
I think Hallie, I mean, he jumps to leading the league in assists, averaging a double-double.
Hallie and Markkanen both took superstar jumps as well. I mean, maybe not a tier 1 superstar, not like Shea.
All-star
Shea's
jumps.
Shea's like maybe a top 5 player this year. Top 5 guard. Maybe not a top 5 player. Top 5 guard.
Right.
In the league this year. Jared, who you got for most improved?
So first is Laurie as well.
Let's go.
Yeah,
I'm glad we're all on the same
he's
page about
just-
this. Yeah.
I mean, he went from like 14-5-1 to like 25-8-2, and like the Jazz have won more games than anybody thought was capable.
yeah.
And so
Basically all on his back.
Right.
You know.
right. So definitely him. 2, I also have Brunson as well because I think it's one thing to perform really well for a few series, a few games, but to go to a new team, new system, new coach, and just be a leader and dominate. I think he deserves the 2nd spot. And then I did put SGA in my 3rd spot.
Yeah.
Just because, yeah, he went from we all knew he was a good player, but he's become a superstar this year. He's become one of those top guys. And I think his jump has been fun to see. And hopefully he'll keep this up the rest of his career. But that's my top 3.
So rolling through people, a lot of people, Lowry, most improved. Who else we got here? Who has got a hot take in the chat on most improved?
Jaden McDaniels.
Jaden McDaniels is a hot take. What do you guys think about Jaden? I mean, I don't think he'll get it. I don't think he deserves it as much, but he was very improved. I'm not taking that away from him.
I like his game.
Thomas says Murray. I'm guessing he means DeJounte Murray, not
DeJounte
Jamal.
or Jamal or who's the Keon? Who's the Kings one? How do you pronounce his first name?
Keegan.
But
Keegan.
he can be improved. 'cause
Keegan
he's
is
a
how
rookie.
you
I don't
pronounce. You didn't know how to
Yeah,
pronounce
Keegan.
Keegan.
Sorry, I didn't.
He's talking about
having a hard
Jamal
time.
Murray. I don't think you can get most improved if you missed a bunch of games the prior season.
Yeah. No, that's like
if it was the
that'd be a cheat.
NFL and we
It's
had
not the
comeback
NFL,
player of
man.
the year, then yeah.
It's not the NFL. Yeah, who else we got? Lopez. Which Lopez? I mean, Brooke Lopez, I'm guessing. Most
Probably.
improved.
I think his defense bounced back this year or something.
Yeah, I mean
Brooks'
that'd be
Not sure if
crazy
his
for
speed
somebody.
came back.
That'd be pretty crazy for somebody to win most improved. What, 14 years or how many years is he into the league?
Yeah.
Double
Oh.
digits for sure.
This
This
is year
dude's been around for a
15, I think.
Yeah, that
Oh, he
guy's been
barely
around
played last year.
Yeah,
He was hurt.
yeah. I don't think I'm not going to give it to anybody off of an injury. It's not the NFL, so not. Sorry, Rook. Let's go to clutch player, depoy, rookie, or let's go rookie next. This one's pretty obvious, I think, but who's first right now? Is it Carter? Yeah, Carter's first. I just decided.
All right. I think it's pretty objective for number one is Paolo Banchero. Probably
Yeah.
butchered his name. There's like 15 different pronunciations for it. Number two, I got Jalen Williams, the guard off of the OKC Thunder. He's been awesome this year. And then number three, Walker Kessler of the Utah Jazz.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay. I'll hold my thoughts until I get to my turn. Go ahead, Jared.
So I have the exact same top three as Carter.
It's a very common top three in the voting
Yeah.
I'm doing.
Right. Just all the reasons. All of them have done really well. And shout out to Jalen being on the Thunder. Like, seriously, shout out to the Thunder and Walker Kessler, too. Outplaying Rudy in the block department as a rookie. That's what I'm talking about. Better shooter already.
No,
Like,
I mean,
I'm pumped as a
this
Jazz
is what I was
fan.
saying as a Jazz fan. It's like, I'm really excited about this guy because he looks, I mean, Rudy did not look like this as a
No.
rookie. He looks way better.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It's exciting.
I'll go a little hot take. You can't get too hot takey here. And anytime there is a Jazz player who's like a legitimate contender for anything, like I want him to win. So I'll go a little hot takey here. I'm not going to pick Paolo not to win. I mean, he just is. He does deserve it. Okay. I'll put Walker Kessler in the 2 spot, and I'll actually go with Keegan Murray in the 3 spot. Just because, I mean, yeah, if you look at numbers wise and stuff like that, he doesn't look as good, but he was on a better team and a team where there's like not a ton of touches to go around, and he's able to carve out some touches as a rookie. Do you guys know what pick he was? He won like a pick. He wasn't a lot. Yeah, it wasn't a lotto pick.
Yeah.
Like, and as that low in the draft, he's able to come like carve out a role on a team that is third in the West.
Right.
Like,
Great 3-point percentage.
and they were healthy all year. It's not like they had injuries that like put him in there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Great pick.
You were talking about Keegan there? I thought you were talking
Yeah.
about where Kessler was picked. Keegan was 4th.
What's that?
Keegan was 4th pick, and I said he was like 25th because I thought you were talking about Walker Kessler.
No, Kessler was low. Yeah, Keegan. Okay, so he barely wasn't a lottery pick. So I was right.
He's the Summer League MVP too, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
he was really good. this Summer League.
Either way, even if he was a high pick, carved out a role. I didn't remember that he was a 4th pick, but he did carve out a role on a team where there are a lot of people who need to eat. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got Kevin Herter who needs to eat. You got Malik Monk who needs to eat. Demantis Sabonis, Fox, Harrison Barnes. Like, there's a lot of people who can take touches on that team, and they were all real healthy this year, and he was still able to carve out a pretty significant contribution, like a contributing role for himself. So I'll go Keegan. He probably won't get it, but I think he deserves it. Okay, let's go to, so that was rookie. Let's go to clutch, then depoy, then MVP. Clutch.
Will be interesting.
J Bags.
All right. So first, I put De'Aaron Fox just because he's leading the league in clutch points, and he's been awesome. So I had to put him. Now the second, I don't know the actual clutch points numbers, but just from my 50-foot view watching, I put Donovan Mitchell. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like he has just been so clutch this year. He's been not only dominant, but they've been. I mean, Cavs are the 4th seed in the East. He's been playing really good. So I put D Mitch there, and then I put SGA in my 3rd spot. I know at the beginning of the year he had a lot of clutch buckets. I'm not sure as much lately with like how many clutch points he's had, but he's been awesome. He's been a killer. He's kind of like been like the Dame of this year, I feel like.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's my top 3.
I know DeRozan was it last year. But I was looking at something. Clutch is like one of the hardest ones to track, other than
Right.
just like basically going by what the NBA tells you. But I was looking at some stuff that like DeRozan's actually pretty clutch again this year. He's not like far and away the most clutch player again. So I want to go Fox and then DeRozan. And then my last person, I'm just going to go eye test on this one. And I'm going to go with Tatum, honestly. I mean, he's not going to get it. He's not going to get votes, but I'm just saying like eye test who I think deserves it. Like Tatum's had a lot of like clutch minutes, big buckets, like making shots down the stretch. If I'm taking out anyone who's like a legitimate MVP candidate, like a Jokic, Tatum, Embiid, anybody like that, as much as I hate to say it, and this person's probably a legitimate MVP candidate too, LeBron's been really clutch, especially in the last like month,
Right.
last couple months. So yeah, I don't know. The clutch one's hard to like dial in. Carter, I feel like you're probably going to have a better take here because you've probably broken down the numbers.
I threw some stats together, like I was talking about earlier with the per 75 stats, and the narratives that run the voting are correct. De'Aaron Fox came up at the top of the list, and then Joel Embiid was second there, despite, I mean, I don't think anyone's really talking about him for that. And then I saw some votes going around for Jimmy, and he ended up third on that list when I broke the numbers down. So I got Fox, Embiid, and Jimmy Butler for my top 3.
Interesting.
Good.
Yeah, and I don't know what I saw that like was showing DeRozan was still pretty clutch this year, but
He
I'm
was
just kept
up
going
there,
off
I
of him.
think.
Yeah, when he kind of always, it's like that mid-range game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was 5th on my personal formula. It was my 3, then Halliburton, and then DeMar.
Boogie's World on
Luka and
YouTube
Kyrie.
says, Boogie's World on YouTube says Anthony Edwards, Dame, and Fox. I'm guessing just on eye test there. I mean, on eye test, yeah. Carter, YouTube loves you tonight. Carter's on fire. Carter's
Yes,
spot
sir.
on. Sorry, we're just cool. We should just let this be the Carter show. J Bags and John, just get out of here and let Carter
Jay's
let
out
Carter
here.
cook. Let the boy cook. Where are we at? We're at Deep Boy.
Yeah,
All right, Deep Boy. I'm first.
I think so.
I really wish I really wish that like someone like a Drew Holiday would win that. I honestly think the Bucks defensive scheme just doesn't like Giannis. Giannis is in the betting odds, but I feel like it's just because Giannis is Giannis. You know what I mean? But like, I feel the biggest issue I have with Deep Boy in general is that it's like it's hard to measure the stats of what a really effective defensive player does. Like all they do is just make somebody inefficient. You know what I mean? Like a super effective defensive player. Like it doesn't always show up in steals and blocks and stuff like that. So if you're asking me, I honestly think that Drew Holiday deserves the Deep Boy. I don't think he'll even be in the top 3. So I'm going to put Drew Holiday somewhere in there as an honorary member. But if I'm going to go top 3 with it, I'm going to go with, Triple J, I think is the obvious favorite. And I hate to say Brooke Lopez. Honestly, you know what? I'm not going to. I'm gonna say Triple J. I'm gonna say Alex Caruso, and then I'm gonna say Drew Holiday, number 3, just on principle, because I think Drew Holiday is potentially the best defender in the league in terms of defending 1 through 4 and like actually disrupting things. A lot of that has to do with like he just has to be like the main perimeter defender because they will do nothing but play drop. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of times Giannis and Brooke Lopez see the stats from it, but Drew Holiday really did all that work, right? To drive them into the lane and let those guys get the blocks. Who's up next? Carter.
My mindset there is the exact opposite. I think that
the statistics pure.
The big men are a lot more impactful, just how basketball works. I mean, Drew has the luxury. I mean, he's a phenomenal defender, probably best perimeter defender in the league, of being able to let a guy go one way and have him run into Giannis and Brooke Lopez behind him in the paint, and he has no options to score there. Still best perimeter defender in the league.
I would say it's the scheme, right? Like that's what the Bucks have done. They're like, hey, just we play drop on everything. they're never going to not play drop. So I don't know. Yeah. Sorry. Go
But,
ahead.
like you got guys like Giannis and Brook Lopez. You can't get around them just say like getting a screen. Like you put a screen on Drew Holiday and you get him off you might be able to do something. You can't get a screen to get Giannis and Brook Lopez out of the paint. So I think big men is where it's at, and should have been a big man last year. But I think narratives push Defensive Player of the Year the most because there's really no good stat to follow it.
So you don't think Marcus Smart deserved it?
No, I mean, I think he was probably the best perimeter defender that year, him or Drew Holiday. But I think it's always got to be a big that's going to be the most impactful.
Yeah, I think maybe I just have bias toward the guards.
I went Brook 1. Brook and Jaren have been the most common 2 picks. I went Brook 1 and Jaren 2 just because Brook's played about like 15, 20 more games. But both of them are the anchor of a top 3 defense. And then I followed that same trend going with Evan Mobley at my 3 spot. With the best defense.
All right. J Bags, what you got?
Good. So I had Triple J first, leading defensive rating, blocks. I put Brook as my 2, so just flip flop, and then I put Mobley as my 3. So very similar in your vein. I'm high on big men, and Giannis. Personally, I think Giannis should be in the top 3. It's hard. He's like a close 4th because I think he's so dominant as well defensively.
I honestly think that Giannis and Brook wouldn't be able to do what they do without Drew Holiday. Like if they had. Let's go extreme with this. If they had Kyrie and Luka as their perimeter defenders, like the Bucks wouldn't be able to do that. They would have to switch screens. They would have to they wouldn't be able to funnel everything into those guys. I don't think they could do it without like Drew Holiday and Chris Middleton perimeter defender. Even when Grayson Allen struggles a little, you know what I mean? Like he's had to develop that ability to chase people around screens and stuff. What's up, Carter?
How about the Cleveland Cavaliers? I think a very similar situation to your hypothetical where they have Darius Garland and Donovan Mitchell in the backcourt, and then they have a Mobley and an Allen in the paint, and they have the number 1 defense in the league.
Yeah, but Donovan Mitchell, I don't think Donovan Mitchell's as bad a perimeter defender as I think he's a fine perimeter defender. I don't think he's good. I think he's fine.
He can be average, and I feel like Darius is probably a little below average. But
Darius is like a Mike Conley, a little below average, but not bad, right? He's not like a Kyrie.
Yeah. But I think if you have an elite front court defense with a bad backcourt, it can be doable like Cleveland is. But if it's the opposite, if like Smart and Drew are there in the front, and then you have like current Blake Griffin, current DeAndre Jordan, I don't know, what you're describing right now. What you're describing right now is the Utah Jazz for the last 5 years, and they get picked apart as soon as a team goes to a 5-out in a playoff series. So, I mean, those bigs have to be able to come out to the perimeter at some point. Yeah,
right.
But I think Giannis can do that.
So can Brook Lopez,
Giannis and Mobley,
can Brook Lopez defend on the perimeter? Really, like
good enough to win a championship? It worked well enough to win a ring.
All right, we'll see. We'll see if it happens again. But
I think also in Utah, there was just the perimeter defense was a little bit too bad. Rudy had to overhelp to not let them score, and then he has to leave somebody out. He has to pick somebody to guard.
It was particularly bad in Utah for sure.
Yeah.
But that's the extreme version of what you're saying. I don't think the Cavs are that bad. You know what I mean? Like I think they're better perimeter defenders than Utah was. I think Donovan Mitchell now is a better perimeter defender than he was in Utah. And I think DG is better than Mike Conley, probably a little bit. All right, what do we got next? We got MVP, that was deep boy. We got MVP, and then we'll do a spin. And then Carter's got to get out of here. All right, MVP. Who's up first here? Is it you, J-Bags?
Not sure.
It's you.
All right. Okay, so, and let me just preface this. I'm going to say who I think. I think that the NBA, I think Embiid's going to win the MVP. But I'll explain what I think. I have Jokic as my MVP. And it's really close, and I love both of them. I think it's super close, but I was looking at it, and it's very similar in games played. Jokic just played a few more games, but Jokic actually is literally better in every statistical category except for points and blocks. And it's, again, a lot of them are super close. Like player efficiency ratings like 0.1 off, and like a lot of them are super close.
Yeah.
But that being said, Jokic is averaging a near triple double. They're the 1 seed in the West, which in my opinion, the West, well, it's pretty close with the East, but I still think the West is the superior conference. And they're the 1 seed, and he's led them. And I know he's been out some games, but so is Embiid. And so, yeah, he's averages more rebounds, more assists, shooting better percentages from 2, from 3. Yeah, and he's my pick. And then I have Embiid second, of course. And then I have Giannis third. Yeah.
So the MVP is definitely the one that so you've got Jokic, Embiid, Giannis. MVP is definitely the one that like causes the most arguments, and we could go the furthest down the rabbit hole on this argument, because what is it?
Right.
Like, it's not even that defined what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, what do you, in your mind, what is the MVP?
Well, what is it? I feel like it's because you have to realize in our modern day, the way they vote, there's voter fatigue. And so, like, for example, let's take Jokic. He won't win the MVP because no one's won 3 straight since Larry Bird in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in an NBA that LeBron James, if we're being honest, I love Derrick Rose, great year, but LeBron James should have won the MVP that year, should have won 4 straight. If we're being like objective, he was a better basketball player. If we're saying a better basketball player, but that brings it to your question. What is the MVP? Okay, well, who's the most valuable to their team if we're taking it literally? Well, if we're doing that, I mean, again, I hate to go back to those mid 2000s, but like you plug LeBron off the Cavs, they don't even make the playoffs. He goes back to the Cavs. They go to the freaking NBA championship the first year. So if we're going off most valuable, then there's different criteria. So I don't know. I don't know what it is for the NBA. It kind of is. It changes.
I know. Here. I think they move the goalposts specifically to be able to like just create narrative. Yeah, right. To create narratives that will be
right.
I don't know. That will just create more buzz around the league. And why wouldn't you? Right. If the way that you make money is with attention, right? Why wouldn't you do that?
Right.
By your measure of most valuable to your team, I think you're right. Nikola Jokic is the most valuable to his team of those top 3 candidates. If you look at anyone else who's even like kind of remotely in the race, and I'll go all the way to Jason Tatum with this. What are the Sixers without Embiid? They're still okay. Like, they're not as good for sure, but they're probably still a playoff team. What are the Bucks without Giannis? They might even still be a top 3 seed without Giannis. What are the Celtics without Tatum? Same thing. They might actually still be a top 3 seed without Tatum. Not a like contender like they are, but still very good without Tatum. The only other person who has that kind of impact on his team is the person I crossed out today, and that's Luka. Without Luka, the Mavs are like hanging out with the other Texas teams, like in the cellar, in the front of the Wemby sweepstakes, right? So Luka's really the only other person who's remotely in the race who has the kind of impact on his team that Jokic has. That said, if I look at it and I say, like, who do I think the best basketball player is? And that's what I'll go here, just so I can get go down narrative street a little bit and say somebody who I don't think either of you guys are going to say. If I were to pick one of these guys to build a team around, it would be Jason Tatum. I would build a team around Jason Tatum. I mean, look, they're all great players, Joel Embiid, but like, he's just, from a tools perspective, he's just got all the tools. He can defend 1 through 5. He's fast. He's athletic. He's strong. He can shoot. You could say the same about some of the others, but they're like a little bit more true big guys. Whereas I like, I'm more of that, like, give me a 4 who can play big and play small, or a 3 who can play big and play small. So I'm going to go Jason Tatum in my 1 spot. I'm going to go Jokic in my 2 spot. And I'm going to go with, it's hard for me to say this, but I'm going to go with Embiid in my 3rd spot. Hard for me to ever acknowledge that Embiid is a good basketball player. I just dislike him too much. Carter, what do you got?
I think really there's only 3 real candidates here, and I would not say Jason Tatum is one of them, but I kept Jokic at 1, and unfortunately, as soon as I started this community awards voting, it was immediately after Jokic put up an awful performance in a loss to the Rockets.
Yeah, I know.
After Embiid dropped 50 and 10,
52,
25 on the Boston Celtics. So I think that swung it. I don't think it should swing it. I think 1 game is equal to 1 game, no matter where it's at in the season.
We have so much recency bias in this world, though.
Oh, yeah.
Like, what do y'all think about Chet Holmgren right now? Oh, he's trash. He's pretty much a bust at this point. Like, dude was the 2nd pick in the draft. Like, he's never even played, right? Like, we have so much recency bias in this world. But yeah, sorry, I didn't mean to let the
No,
boy
no,
cook.
you're
I'm
good.
sorry.
So I got Jokic 1, I got Embiid 2, and I got Giannis 3. I think those are the 3 candidates for this
They
year.
really are. I'm just trying to be a little hot takey and go with Tatum. I like to honestly. And that my opinion is true. If I were to build a team around anyone, I would build a team around Jason Tatum. Giannis would maybe be the other one, but like I want someone versatile. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
All right. Let's see. What do we got, Thomas? Here's another hot take. John Morant would be MVP if it wasn't for his off-court issue. I mean, it's
This
not
year,
like he was
no.
really at the
He would
top.
not
It's
have
not
been.
like he was really at the top of the race
No.
before. Like,
If he had
but
played like 70 games and Memphis was still a 2 seed, which they would be, he'd probably be like top 5. But
yeah,
Right.
yeah. Jokic, Embiid, Giannis from Mike. Yeah, nobody real hot takey here. Everybody kind of thinks it's Embiid, Giannis, Jokic. This guy says Kessler's cool, which I agree with. All right, Casey, let's do a spin. Let's get Carter out of here.
All right, real quick, we do have a poll going on in the chat right now. Who should be MVP? Embiid, Giannis, Jokic, Tatum. It's a pretty tight race right now, so I'll let people do that while we go to the wheel here. Got to get those comments off.
You didn't put Tatum. There's a 4th spot, and you didn't even put Tatum in it, huh?
I did. It's Embiid,
you did,
Giannis,
okay.
Jokic, Tatum.
Tyler says no votes.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, Tatum would surprise you where he is too. Actually,
Oh,
maybe your take convinced some people.
Tatum's got fans.
He's not last for a $25
we didn't
NBA Shop
make
gift
our picks.
card.
Our picks all stand. Ooh, it's gonna be Abby. That's the second show in a row for Abby.
Abby, make
Abby's
sure you
cooking.
email us at triplecrosspodcast@gmail.com and we will get you your e-gift card promptly.
Carter's cooking today. Abby's cooking the last 2 shows after being cold for the first like however many she came to. She shows up too. All right. Well, Carter is good. It's been real. It's been fun. Appreciate you being here. You stayed for way longer than you said you could, so I appreciate that. If you don't follow Carter already, follow him on Instagram at MBA District. Follow his podcast, Winners Work Pod. It's a good time. They come up with cooler concepts than I come up with. But yeah, Carter, anything else you want to say to the people?
Just let me know if Brandon S wins the last spin, because I will need to let him know if he does.
All right.
Well, I'll let you know this right before you take off, Carter. Our poll is going to end right here in a 3-way tie.
Wow.
For Giannis, Jokic, and Tatum. Embiid left out in the cold.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's
Some
funny
bias.
That's
some
funny
bias.
because Embiid will probably
It is.
win it. Honestly, I feel like our show, is just
If we
stacked.
put Walker Kessler in that poll, he would have won.
Walker Kessler for MVP.
All
Larry,
the Jazz fans would have.
Welcome to
There's
the
a
Triple
lot
Cross
of-
podcast. Embrace the bias.
embrace the bias.
That's the
There's a
tagline
lot
for the
of-
show.
There's a lot of Larry fans though. You know what I'm saying?
True.
All right, Carter, it's been real. We'll see you next time, bud.
Thanks for having me on. See you, boys.
Yep.
Better man.
All right. Okay, so now we got Casey. Casey in the 3rd seat.
What's up? Hey, y'all.
You're real
How we
low,
doing?
Doing good. Casey, I saw a comment in the chat earlier. Somebody was like, "Casey, I missed you,"
Yeah, that was Brandon.
and it was Brandon. He said we're casuals.
Yeah, well, hey, let's go, Brandon. You know,
Hey,
Oh,
whatever.
sorry.
We embrace the bias. We
Embrace the bias.
embrace
All
the
right.
bias. All right. So I got one more little segment planned here. It's kind of a fun segment. It's called, I'm going to call it Social Media Deep Dive. Let me arrange some stuff here.
We are one like away from a 3rd wheel spin while John's getting this prepared, guys.
Yeah, if you all haven't liked the video yet, you probably should. If you're on Instagram, head over to YouTube, like the video, and we will do one more NBA Shop gift card. Miguel, everybody's happy to have Casey here. Nobody's ever like, John, I'm so happy to see you. Or Bag.
What can I say, man?
Nobody says that to us, man.
They know who's running the giveaway wheel. You know,
They know. Yeah. They're like, can I get on there a second time? All right. Gonna do a little social media deep dive. This week was a fun week of social media. One of my favorite things about basketball, honestly, is basically just how dramatic everybody is off the court. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I love all the trash talk.
That's
So,
awesome.
first up, we got Mr. Presidente himself, Dave Portnoy. Did you see this one, Casey?
I did. Yeah. Some
Yeah.
hot
So
water.
so this is women's NCAA March Madness. If any of you guys didn't catch this, you've been under a rock. LSU, Iowa, Angel Reese. So this is happening at the end of the game. This video, ESPN posted this video. This is happening at the time is running out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the game, and watch the lips. I don't know if anybody's a lip reader, but watch the lips right here. Oh, not right there. Dang it.
No, right there.
Yeah, right here. What's she saying? I don't know what she's saying. Some people said she's saying a word that starts with H and ends with O.
She's calling her a hoe.
Yeah, she called her a hoe. Telling her you can't see me, pointing to the ring, and Dave Portnoy just, he didn't hold back. Best reply to this comes straight from Shaq. Shaq himself. So is your mother. So Dave Portnoy called Angel Reese a classless piece of poop, although he did not say poop. I just, I like to keep it clean.
There you go.
And the internet embraced his take with open arms.
And the internet was all like, yeah, we agree. This is probably one of the most engaged tweets of all time. Like, also, who are the 1,400 people bookmarking this? In case I need to come back to it later. In case I forgot what Dave Portnoy said, let me bookmark it.
Love
But
that
yeah,
by Felix.
Shaq goes, and so is your mother. And then Dave, this was just a couple hours ago, claps back. He texted mom. He said, "Hey mom, Shaq called you a classless piece of poop on Twitter. Any official response?" And she said, "I have a little more class than he does. Doesn't even know me." And so, yeah, Dave Portnoy clapping back at Shaq a couple hours ago. I don't know if Shaq's come back to that one yet, but Dave actually got his mom involved. I think when you make a mom joke and then the mom actually gets involved, it's like, okay, well, I'm sorry to bring you into this.
Right.
You seem like a real nice lady.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You think Shaq regrets it?
For sure.
What do you do? What's your take here? You with Dave, you against Dave? A lot of people are saying it's a race thing. Do you think it's a race? I mean, he's explained himself. I don't know.
No, I don't think it's a race thing at all.
Yeah, he's explained. I don't know if you've watched the explanation or anything.
I haven't seen Dave's explanation.
Okay, so basically what he said is because people are like, well, Caitlin Clark did the same thing. She did you can't see me to South Carolina. They're like, it's taunting. It's the same stuff she's doing.
Right.
But he said, no, specifically, this was as time was running out and Angel Reese was following her around to do it.
Yeah.
Right? He was it was a big time, let me pour as much salt in this wound as possible.
Right.
And he's find me another, his challenge was find me another example of that. He says, you can't.
Right.
I don't know if anybody has found him another example of that, but his point was, it has nothing to do with race. It was that particular move. Right. So I'm not trying to be a Dave sympathizer. If I don't know if we're losing any viewership. Right?
Burn him.
Yeah.
Burn him. Burn him at the cross. But yeah, no, I mean, look, the other thing is we got a grown man, calling a 20-year-old girl who just won a national championship.
Right.
Classless piece of ish. So Jared, what's your take? You stand with Dave or burn him?
So no, I've been going back and forth.
You gonna go down the middle on me?
I know I've been going back and forth, but here's
I won't, John. So Jared, you do your thing.
Yeah, I do have a point about it now, and I'll explain.
Okay.
So initially, when I saw it, I was like, okay. Well, I had a few thoughts, but I was like, okay, if you're doing that mid-game, whatever, doing that, I'm fine with that. Antics, being competitive, trash talk, that's part of the game.
Yep.
But like you mentioned, here's the thing. It's like when you're scared, you're you want to fight somebody or you want to talk some crap to somebody, but you won't do it till right at the very end of the game, and then you run off to the side. Here's the thing. Caitlin Clark outplayed her the whole game, and she didn't talk.
Caitlin Clark gave him 30.
Yeah. Caitlin Clark, clear. And it's one thing if, okay, first half you're doing that, you're starting to talk. I love that. I'm all about that. But to not do that until right at the very end to the player who outplayed you, I think that's a little soft, personally. And it's not a race thing. It's none of that. It's just if I were to see LeBron do that to Tatum, they play in the finals and he doesn't do it till the very end and he's pointing his ring. No, you better talk the whole time like Marcus Smart, Draymond Green. If that's part of you, great.
Yeah.
But if you're just doing that at the end, I don't like that.
It reminds me a few weeks ago when D-Book started talking to Luka at the end of the game. Right. When it was we just locked it up. and they get to the end of the game, and then D-Book
Yeah.
starts talking. It's like, I agree. I'm like, I mean, if you're going to talk, like you
Yeah.
start to
Talk the whole
till you
game.
won. Don't wait till you won to start talking.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I love Pat Bev. He might be delusional, but he talks. That's who he is.
He got that dog in.
Yeah. And it's like, all right, that's who you are. But I don't know.
Casey, what you got?
Man, this is pretty open and closed for me. I mean, you know that my league, first and foremost, is the NFL, and we already have a rule for this. Taunting is taunting, but they really only call it when you do it directly to the opponents. Because if I remember right, it was the game prior, Clark did this, but she did it walking back to her bench, doing it kind of as like what's up, ladies? Like
People
to
are
my
saying
own
that
team.
she was saying like she was like doing it to her coach, like they can't see me, like not
right.
Yeah.
Right. Wow. This was like, and even in my mind, doing it to a player isn't even that bad. The walking around is kind of a next level thing, and making it like post game kind of only amplifies it even more. I'm not going to sit on the fence. I'll say I didn't like it. But that's just my own opinion. She's definitely well within her rights to do it. And that's just, she's making her own persona.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure she's on her way to the big leagues, the big WNBA at some point to make the big bucks. So maybe she's thinking about like sponsorships. No publicity is bad publicity. And I'd file the same thing with Dave Portnoy. Who cares if people don't like what he said?
Yeah.
He's all over the place and he's bulletproof at this point.
I think his response at what, like on one of his shows or in a clip I saw was like, hey man, I watch games and I tweet things.
Yeah.
Like basically it's like, what you don't have to listen to me. Right. Yeah. By the way, Gimp, what's up, dude? Thanks for calling me out. Miguel says we all rock. Yeah.
And make sure you vote in the poll that I have going on for this with Dave Portnoy wrong, because it's pretty close right now. So let's get everybody's opinion on there.
Dang, yeah. I mean, maybe the chat seems to be pretty well like, nah, no big deal. But yeah, Clark,
50-50.
that is true. Caitlin Clark specifically was like, I don't have any problem with what she did. Like,
right.
She says that now. I don't know. She didn't get interviewed about it in the moment. Right. But she was like very clearly ignoring it. You know what I mean? Like Angel, she was like following her around, and Caitlin Clark was like, look away, look somewhere else. Like it was pretty bad. So yeah, I mean, she got some big ones. Interesting. Mamba mentality. Yeah, not a race thing. Brandon, just keep calling us casual.
Love it.
All right, next up, got a little bit more down the social media rabbit hole. Fun segment. I don't know. Oh, add to stream. There we go. Draymond Green from the Draymond Green podcast. Basically, I just find all the ish posts from the week, and then that's what this segment is. This is the CBA stuff. Have you looked into this at all? Yeah. Have you seen this CBA stuff?
The new CBA.
So I don't know how you feel about it. There's like lots of different stuff. So like players, I mean, I wrote some notes here. So real quick, running through the new collective bargaining agreement between the Players Association and the NBA. So basically the NBA has made it super hard to oh, you guys can still see my screen. That's fun. Basically the NBA has made it super hard for players or for teams that are already a certain point past the tax to like continue to collect players. So the Warriors are going to get hurt by this. Teams like the Cavs are probably going to benefit because they can now super max more than one player. There's no mid-level exceptions for them, no cash and trades, no moving first round picks more than 7+ years out. It's like if they're a certain point past the tax. Right. So basically it's like, you know, Draymond said, y'all wanted a hard cap. Here it is, you know? Yeah. And he said, we're done with dynasties now. The Warriors are going to be the last dynasty because we won't be able to build dynasties ever again. And he said, I think he said something along the lines of like, hey, you know, players, I don't know why we rushed into this deal because we just played ourselves. Right. I think it's pretty easy for a guy like Draymond Green to feel that way because he specifically and his team are going to be the kind of people who do not benefit from this. Right. Your take. You with Draymond? You stand with Draymond? In Draymond, you trust?
Well, I'll explain how I think. I can see both sides. As an NBA fan, I'm fine with it. I like the new CBA, and here's why. Think about how the NBA was, let's say, 15, 20 years ago, early 2000s, when every team has about 2 all-stars, 2 superstars, and there's a lot of good teams, and it's really wide open. now you have the NBA from like 2015 to 2018, where like literally the same teams would go to the finals every year.
Yeah.
And I love that we're avoiding that. It gives small market teams like Utah, San Antonio, teams like that a chance if they draft well, get a really good trade. I think it levels the stack. But if you're a star player, oh, it sucks because you lose that leverage to go join. Kevin Durant's probably crying as this happens, but luckily he's on the Suns now, so he's fine. He's got 3 other stars with him. But I love it overall. I think it's great.
And I think Draymond said something like mid-level teams don't want to spend. I'm like, I don't think that's true at all.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true at all. I think Ryan Smith would love to spend.
Right.
If any free agent would ever want to come to Utah ever.
Yep.
You know.
Yep.
Casey, what do you think here? I know you have kind of thought this weird like tax luxury cap, but then you can still spend cap past the cap thing. You've always thought it was weird because you're an NFL guy. They haven't put a hard cap here, but they've effectively all the moves that teams that are way past the cap do. They've basically said you can't do any of those anymore. Now I'm sure they'll get creative, but they've more or less created a hard cap until some team figures out some way to snake through it.
Right, which is
right through the defense. But yeah, what do you think?
That is the inevitable, right? That's kind of the main thing to remember here is not to get too overboard. There's always going to be loopholes that are found out, and even like decades down the road with no other new rules in place, somebody will be like, "Hey, did you realize if we do this, like, can do that?" Yeah. So it always happens. They get paid a lot of money to figure those things out. And as far as it kind of like not benefiting the players, in Draymond's opinion, you know, I can see that, but also at the same time, the NBA, the players get taken care of better than any other league already. So that's not an excuse, you know, especially for them negotiating against themselves, in his opinion. But at the same time, like, you have a hard time feeling bad for the NBA players, even compared to other professional athletes of like the same notoriety. At least I do.
The players have spent years essentially making taking the power, right? Like it's a player centric league. This does shift power back a little bit. Now, that said, I am more in favor of a player centric league than an owner centric league. I think that's worse. But I mean, I think this definitely shifts it back. So I can see why Draymond's like, oh, just principally it's a move in the wrong direction. It does hurt your team here, Casey, but which is why I was interested in what you talked about. Other things in the CBA though, mid-season tournament, my personal thought on that is this seems stupid. Seems like nobody's going to care. Yeah. Why are we doing this? Mid-season tournament. There's going to be a mid-season tournament at some point next year, like in December or something like that. I do like this one, 65 game minimum for individual awards. Draymond's point on that one, he's against basically everything. His point on that one was, he was like, yeah, that's cool. I get it. You don't want load management. That's going to maybe stop a little bit of load management until you have to start giving bums second team all NBA. Like, I'm like, dude, there's no bums. Like, it's, you know, if Anthony Edwards makes second team because whoever else was in front of it, like, then fine, I'm for it. He played the games. Right. Like, that's what I want.
Totally.
I don't want...
if he's calling people of that caliber bums, what does he call himself?
Yeah. He thinks he's a max player. He's a little bit delusional.
I think he specifically, I think Draymond Green specifically thinks that, you know, like if you got Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, like they get those spots. One of them already has to be second team, I think, right? No, I went through, or Tatum. One of those four is going to have to be second team already. And so I think he's saying like, well, what if one of them misses games? Like people start leaking up into third team, second team that don't really deserve it. But I mean, that's it. They played the games. I don't want, what I don't want is to go see Boston come to Utah the one time all year they're going to come to Utah and Jason Tatum not play. That's what I don't want.
Right.
So I'm fine. Give a bum third team all NBA. I don't care.
Right.
Anybody else have thoughts on that?
While we're waiting for, I was just going to say, we got results from the poll that I put out on Dave Portnoy and it flip-flopped on us. It might have, I mean, before I was talking, the poll was one way. After I spoke, it went the other way. I'm not saying it was because of me, but the chat did flip to, yes, he was wrong. But it had flipped to no in between. So, yes, Dave Portnoy was wrong according to the chat. So,
okay. I mean,
a glimmer of no in there for a second.
The people, I don't know what we call the triple cross community. The crossers. The crossers have spoken. If you guys have ideas, let me know. because we need something. So be like, welcome back to the trip. What's up, crossers? I don't know. I like crossers, kind of.
TCPers.
The community tentatively called the crossers right now. All right. A little bit further down the rabbit hole. We'll rapid fire them now. Anytime I see a Wilt shout out, I just got to put it in there. This is hilarious. Most consecutive games averaging 40 points per game.
Holy.
Wow.
So we got James Harden at 19. So that's when this graphic was made. James Harden at 19, Rick Barry at 22, Kobe Bryant at 23, Elgin Baylor at 33, and Wilt Chamberlain at 515.
That's crazy.
That's five. Nope, it's more than 5 seasons. It's more than 6 seasons. That's almost 7 seasons. That's like 6.5 seasons of averaging 40 points per game or more.
Nice.
Anytime there is a Wilt shout out, I'm going to put it in the podcast.
This is worded
the guy was
so. This is worded so just so. How does this? I mean, it feels very creative the way they did it. Like, wouldn't that break the streak if there was one game of him below 40? Wouldn't that be an average in like that one game?
No, it's so that's the thing. It's like as soon as his running average drops below. So I get it because it's like, oh, he had a whole bunch of games where he scored like 60 and stuff, so that propped him up for a little while.
Crazy.
But guess what? If you're averaging 45 a freaking game for a couple seasons, like I'm okay with only 35. I guess that's all right. I do know he averaged like 36 and like 25. 36 points, 25 rebounds for like the decade of the 1960s. So
that's with no threes.
Dude was a hack.
That's just crazy.
Dude was a hack. Yeah. He was a glitch in the Matrix. All right. Next up, we got, this is a good one. Shams screen time. Shams how do you say his name? Charania. His screen time. He does 17 plus hours a day of screen time. That means he literally cannot sleep 8 hours a day. He cannot be sleeping 8 hours a day.
No social media cleanses for him.
No social media cleanses for him. He's not J-Bags. Look at him. There he is. Oh, we're down 11% last week. You only did 16 hours and 14 minutes a day.
Oh my goodness.
Shams, dude.
2 to 3 hours of sleep. Oh my
2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. I mean, he looks good for only getting 2 to 3 hours of sleep a night. He's got a little bags under his eyes, but you know. I actually think it shows because I actually think he's kind of overtaken Woj as like the guy who drops stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
17 hours a day of screen time. All right, here we go. Little more Mavs hate. February, when Kyrie came, had about statistically an 11% chance at the playoffs. As of today, or as of April 3rd, 6% chance of the playoffs, which leads to this interview with Luka Doncic. How much you missing Jalen Brunson? I miss him a lot.
Wow.
I miss Jalen Brunson a lot, which is a slight, really, if you think about it.
Oh, 100%.
Like, how you going to miss Jalen Brunson a lot when you got Kyrie Irving, dude? Because one of them's a better teammate, and one of them's a good teammate, and one of them is not such a good teammate. All right, last up, little something from Carter. Here is the NBA, the team of the week. Last week, at point guard, Mr. Stephen Curry, putting up 31 points per game last week, 4.3 rebounds and 5 assists. Donovan averaging 40. Oh, Donovan averaged over 40 for the week.
Yeah.
He's only like
107 seasons to go.
Yeah, only 6.5 seasons to go to catch Wilt. 42 points per game. 5 rebounds. Jason Tatum at 35, 9 and 3. Giannis 31, 12 and 6. And Anthony Davis, Carter believes he was the player of the week at 38 and 11. He did go 3-0, but you know who I think he snubbed? I think there's a little Eastern Conference bias here. I think he snubbed BI. And I think I would put BI in front of Jason Tatum or Giannis last week.
BI, I want to apologize to the show. He should have been my crossing up. Brandon
Ingram,
dude.
I think
I had real deal.
I think I had decided to make Brandon Ingram my crossing up before we started, but then I forgot while we were live. So I was just like, I don't even remember who I said, honestly, at this point.
Shout out to Brandon Ingram.
Yeah, Brandon
Ingram. If you
Ingram.
get a healthy Zion with him, that team would make a deep run.
Yeah.
Goodness.
All right, that's what we got planned for today. What do we got? Do we got one more spin or we got 2 more spins, Casey?
We have one more spin. We've done 2 already, correct? Yeah,
we have done 2.
So we have a third one coming right now. Everybody, thank you for joining us. This will be our final wheel spin of the night. Don't forget to check out our video description. We have another giveaway going on, not to be confused with these in-show giveaways. you can go get a bunch of bonus entries that we just added today. Both of the episode specific, or all 4 of the episode specific bonus entry options. That'll be good for about 130 more bonus entries to win any NBA jersey of your choice, any player, any team. But right now, we got to find out.
Michael S. Is Michael S. there?
Yep. Michael S. is.
He says he's not there.
Hold on. Oh, boy. Oh,
Can't
boy,
believe
Michael.
Just snubbing Michael like that.
All right, Michael.
Mike.
Sorry.
Mike, thanks for calling it out.
Yep.
All right, Jared.
Billy?
Jay, who you got? Jay Bags.
Ooh, we got Michael S, baby.
You're gonna go with Michael S.
Yeah.
Casey,
You know what?
who you got?
Hold on. I'm going to give Michael 2 spots because he's been here the whole time.
Oh well,
Big ol'
then you
Michael.
just made Jared right, basically.
Hey,
Nah, he's just got a bigger chunk because
He's got a bigger-
he missed
he
out on
got
the other
like-
spins.
He wanted an extra large pizza,
Right.
whatever it is we're eating. Casey, who you got?
All right, Michael, that spot is contingent on you changing your fantasy team name, by the way. We will withhold the gift card if you win until that happens.
I'm gonna stick with Boogie. What was his name again? Or you know who else I like is MC Unexpected and CCG. Those are the best names. So I gotta pick one though. Let's go with CCG. I like that. I've been trying to come up with a name that isn't my just normal name.
Yeah.
like a rap name.
You know what?
Sure.
name?
Yeah, like a rapper name.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going with I think I'm gonna go with Andrew again. Andrew just wins all the time. I think he's historically the most
A
winningest
double
person.
Mm.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
double
even know if that's the first time that he's done that. So
He's
I'm
the
gonna go with
Greg.
Andrew.
He's the Greg Popovich of our wheel spins. He's the
I mean,
winningest of all time.
Shoot, dude, he
All
might
right.
be the Will Chamberlain, honestly. I don't know.
Just show up. That was
Yeah.
Greg Popovich said that was the key to be the winningest coach of all time. Just stay alive, show
Wow.
up. You know,
Yeah.
He's a
not
master
bad.
Draft-
reviewer.
draft Tim Duncan and then show up.
Yeah.
All right.
For the chat,
Hit that win.
we got 10 diehards left in here. Which view is better when we do these spins? You like us on the side or us down below? Think about that while we're doing this spin for $25 at the NBA shop. Good luck, everyone.
Gimp.
Remember Star
Gimp.
Fox? Good luck.
Good luck. Yeah, Star Fox
Deep
was
cut.
a great game. Deep
Oh,
cut.
John.
Let's go.
Oh wow.
CCG.
CCG. Man,
CCG's a good rap name.
Yeah, that is a good name.
what do you see about that?
Gimp's got some rap names for me. J Dog and C Code. C Code. That's a
C-Code.
interesting-
Oh,
Where are you getting
Oh.
C Code?
I think that's me.
Because oh, maybe that's you.
No?
Because I'm like, I don't know if he's using my last name, but I don't think I've ever said my last name on this show.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
All right, CCG. I don't believe you've won before. Just in case you didn't catch it, you probably don't listen to the instructions for the winners when you're not the winner on the wheel. Make sure you email us at triplecrosspodcast@gmail.com, and we will get you your $25 e-gift card to the NBA shop just as soon as we can, usually about a day turnaround on that. John, this was a good episode, man.
It was. J Bags, thanks for being here, my guy.
Thank you guys. Good to be here.
Make yourself a friggin' Instagram profile that isn't following all your friends so you can stop your social media cleanse and people can follow you on Instagram.
Noted.
When they do follow you on Instagram, should I just say your normal handle, I guess? It's jbag777 on
Yeah.
Instagram and on Twitter.
I need to switch on Twitter. It's
Okay.
Bagley Jared, but I'll be switching it.
All right. Casey at Niners Fan Man on Twitter. I don't think he even knows what Instagram is. He just used it for the first time today.
Yeah.
And my Insta is John from Triple Cross, and that is my Twitter as well. So give us those follows. Let us know. Let us know who your favorite host is. Actually,
Oh,
don't, because it's probably
Great.
not
Very
me. And
divisive.
that's it's probably not me, and that's gonna just hurt my feelings. So
They're gonna be like Carter, even though he's only been on like 2
Carter.
episodes.
I know, dude. Carter's kind of stolen the show.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's go Lakers.
Let's go. Yes, sir, Miguel. Big win tonight.
And we'll see you all next time.
Bye bye.
Let's go.